NFL has been searching for its next Drew Brees since the moment he started shredding defenses in the late 2000s. A short king with lightning-quick processing, deadly accuracy, and a mastery of his offense, every sub-6-foot quarterback has been comped to the legendary Saint, but each of them have generated substandard results. Brees' style of play is extremely difficult to replicate, since quarterbacks that size can't see over their offensive line, which is why so many of the next Drew Breeses have failed. The next up in the long line of shorter prospects with taller expectations is Alabama's Bryce Young, who measures in at just 5'10 and an eighth, several inches shorter than Brees. So the question for today's video, can Young attack over the middle of the field, and is it possible that he could be our next Brees? Well, the answers will surprise you. We've done several videos on this channel looking at Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray's inability to see over the middle of the field. Here are their target heat maps, where the red represents more targets in that area than league average, and the blue less. And then when we juxtapose that with Young's heat map, there are a ton of targets over the middle, showing that he is capable of attacking that area. That's because he's able to quickly process everything happening on the field, sees every detail unfolding, and taps into the mental side of the game better than anybody else in this class. Alabama ran empty formations where nobody else is in the backfield at one of the highest rates in the nation, and allowed Young to operate as a distributor to get the ball out exactly where it needed to be, and he does that every time. This is what Bill O'Brien calls their two-lane bear concept, where Young is going to pick a side before the snap based on how many deep safeties there are and the coverage. If he gets one high safety man coverage, he'll work the slot fade up top, because he knows the safety can't get outside quick enough, and if it's anything else like two high safeties, zone, anything, he'll look at two-lane, which is two option routes that can break away from coverage. This only works because of his elite understanding of the coverage pre-snap and post-snap, so he can decide which side to attack and then who to target. And while his receiver is wide open, he's throwing completable passes over the middle at just 5'10". But what's really impressive here is how much he's really asked to do. Bama also has him set protections, which is extremely rare for a college quarterback, and he's able to suss out as much information as possible while getting his team in the right play so they can succeed. Tennessee has 3 defenders over 3 receivers and 4 defenders over 2. Something ain't right. Young gives a fake clap to get the defense to jump, and the 2 defenders at the bottom show they're coming, so he changes the protection with a full slide L call to account for the blitzers, then gives a peek to the right, opposite the side he's targeting, before coming back to two-lane, with pressure in his face, and makes a perfect throw. Why did he peek the other way? Well, now that his line is sliding to the left, that means he only has 2 linemen blocking to the right, and knowing his right guard and tackle are already engaged, if Aaron Beasley comes, he won't be blocked, and Young would have a wide open option on the stick route that he could instead throw to. Nobody in this class can process this much information, nobody knows what every single defender is doing on every play, and that's just one reason why his height isn't as much of a problem, and he's more Drew Brees-like than you'd think. Bama ran two-lane bear over and over, and defenses started to catch on. But even against the perfect coverage, Young still was able to rip him with good arm strength and good ball placement. When the running back motions outside and the corner bumps with him, this gives Young a zone tell with the corner outside, so two-lane is what he's leaning towards. And when he sees 2 defenders up top with a blitz threat linebacker in the middle, he gives his line a Ricky call to slide that way for the blitz. However, Tennessee doesn't blitz, kind of flips their corner and safety so the safety is sitting in the two-lane window. The defense is perfectly in place. Young shows that he has the arm strength, has the ability to attack tight windows, and without a doubt that he can throw over the middle. If you're wondering what it looks like when he does get the one high safety man coverage and attacks bear, well, here it is. He has some of the best ball placement in the class, and so we can see how he knew he'd get the look he wants. When they motion their running back out, and now a linebacker follows, now Young knows it's man and he should attack bear. It's pretty likely Tennessee isn't going to ask Beasley as a linebacker to guard a wide receiver, so Young knows that safety Trayvon Flowers is most likely coming down, making this the one high safety look he wants. But still, he has to check at the snap. He confirms that John Slaughter is in one high and won't be able to get over the top of the fade, and I mean, this placement is picture-perfect insane. Young has proven that he can process at a high level, similar to Brees, and also that he is tough as holy hell, despite his slight 204-pound frame. Texas sends a cat blitz here, which means the corner is blitzing, and thusly the safety has to take his man, and Young knows it all the way. He knows he has a long developing dig route to that side, so he checks to his left, nobody open, and has to wait for the in-breaker while knowing he's about to get absolutely smoked, yet still makes a perfect pass. You can see him check to his right because he knows what's coming, feels the inside pressure so he slides over, and because his running back is in protection, the linebacker who's guarding him adds on to the rush, so Young has to stand in and get schmacked to make the throw. This is a rare quality in a college quarterback. Almost all of them shy away from standing in for this throw, knowing they'll get hit this viciously, but Young is an absolute gamer, tougher than hell, and has that type of dog in him. Where he differs from Brees is that he has an elusivity to him that is truly special. While Brees was a great athlete, he showed it more inside the pocket than outside of it like Young can. So when Young gets the same cat blitz but his running back isn't open quick enough for the dump off, look at the bend and flexibility and then the wheels to pick up the first down. His ability to create after the integrity the initial play design breaks down is in the special realm. His pressure to sack rate was just 12.5%, one of the best marks in the nation. So while Brees had to always operate within the concept to dominate, Young can do that too, while adding even an additional layer of mobility to hold the ball longer to create more explosive offense. When looking at his negatives and why he might struggle to reach these high expectations, there aren't many, but there is one I want to focus on: his balance. He has incredible balance where he's able to make throws from any platform at any moment in the down, but I believe that anybody's greatest gift can also be their greatest curse. He can make any throw in the field you need him to. He doesn't have great arm strength, but he's not at all limited. However, he can get lazy with his base where he doesn't activate his feet enough, and that can lead to his deep balls kind of dying. We saw him hit the bear concept earlier against Tennessee where he threw a dime of a slot fade with perfect timing, precision, and pacing. But at times when he doesn't have his feet under him, the ball doesn't quite get to where he needs it to, despite the great catch. You can see how here he doesn't get his momentum flowing forward like he needs to. I always compare it to throwing a punch. You want to hit your target while driving your momentum through them, downhill, and here his not elite arm strength shows up. Contrast this motion with the earlier bear throw, and we see much more hip rotation, forward momentum, some back foot follow through, all things he does to make sure his arm isn't doing all the work so he can get some additional power from the rest of his body. You want to see him capable of making these wild throws from all these different platforms and arm angles, but too often this year he'd rely on them where instead of taking a shuffle step to find his receiver outside, he makes an incredible, but not really necessary play for the completion. His accuracy starts to dwindle when playing this off balance, and because of the disparity between the college and pro game, small misses in college can lead to complete misses in the NFL. To show a couple more examples of what I'm talking about, here is a terrific throw against Tennessee to beat the coverage. Young sees the linebacker leverage heavy inside, so he knows the outbreaking corner route has the advantage, but coverage will be tight. If he puts this on his numbers outside, that'd be a perfectly reasonable spot to complete the pass. But with good body momentum and footwork, he can put this exactly in the one spot upstairs it has to be to complete the pass. But when looking at basically the same corner route in a different game, when he doesn't have his full base under him and full momentum, that ball placement can go haywire. You can see him get to a point where his feet stop and then he has no help from the rest of his body to help him create power, and throws that are all arm sap your accuracy and make it harder to play consistently. Consistency is probably one of the main words I'd use to describe Drew Brees, especially his footwork where he was basically a machine gun going through his reads. Every step he took was tied perfectly to the split second the receiver was coming open. But while Young can clean that up in his game, I don't think it's a fatal flaw, just something that has to be improved. The NFL has been searching for its next Drew Brees really ever since he started on his Hall of Fame pace, but they've failed and failed and failed to find anyone comparable. Bryce Young has all the qualities to finally be that next version, and despite his 5'10" height, his ability to process coverages and have his hand in every single last part of the offensive play call, plus his ball placement, plus his toughness and playmaking ability, and his complete mastery of the Bama offense shows that we've finally found that next Brees. The Short Kings have gotten a bad rap the last few years, and rightfully so, but really all of them have struggled to throw over the middle, and Young doesn't. If Bryce Young can stay healthy, he will be the heir to the throne. the next Drew Brees. And finally, we'll have our new king.